So what are you going to be cooking today, Janet?
Well, I have done the twice baked potatoes, and they're all ready. I just pulled these out of the my little air fryer, and then I'm baking a whole bunch of them in the big guy. And to put on top of them, I'm gonna do chickpeas and gravy. Yum!
That sounds really good.
Oh, there's Mona and Patty. Hey, you two. Hi, Mona. So, how about you, Jesse?
Well, you had said that your recipe was for the chickpeas and gravy was going to come from the PCRM, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine 21-day Kickstart. So I went to the website where they've got all the recipes, and I picked out a creamy carrot soup, but it's a
Ooh,
little bit modified.
Boy, that just
that
Um,
sounds so
sounds
good.
good. That sounds good, though.
Yeah.
well, instead of doing the carrots as part of the saute and simmer, because really stovetop, that's going to take a while with carrots. What I did was I roasted up a whole bunch of carrots. Well, actually, they're braised. Um, I did. I'm going to hold this up. Can you take the lid off?
Cameraman and assistant.
I have a whole casserole dish full of braised carrots with tarragon, lemon thyme, garlic powder, onion powder, and marjoram. And they were braised in 2 cups of orange carrot juice and 2 cups of water for about 2 hours. And so this is going to be the base of the creamy carrot soup. After I saute the fennel and the onion, I'll add in the carrots.
Could you say, oh,
2 tablespoons of tarragon, dried tarragon, 2 tablespoons of dried lemon thyme, 2 tablespoons of marjoram, 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 2 cups of orange carrot juice and 2 cups of water.
orange carrot juice?
Yes, it's a Lakewood brand. It's just fresh juice. It's not a concentrate. There's nothing added to it. It's not a juice drink. It's just carrots and orange.
Okay. And then what was the after that?
That was it. All I did was I diced up the carrot large.
One carrot?
Oh God, no, there are about 12 large carrots in here. This is a double recipe based on PCRM's creamy carrot soup recipe. This will be double.
Oh, okay. So you got
So
that. So all these
this
spices
isn't,
are from PCRM?
no, no.
Okay. I didn't think
Those
so.
are, yeah, they did something a little bit different. Um, but I like these spices with carrot soup. So, and then
Sounds
I'm
amazing.
also, their recipe calls for onion and some ginger and carrot, and I'm adding in some diced fennel bulb. And I kept half of a fennel bulb out. So anyone who hasn't seen a fennel bulb before, I'll show you what we're talking about, and then I'll dice that one up and add it into my bowl of fennel bulb. So those are the ingredients.
How long did you roast them for?
2 hours at 400 degrees.
Wow. Okay.
Now that was in my convection. That was in the convection part of my stove oven. So my guess is it's more like 375 or 385. And I did do it for 2 hours. So it's a kind of a slow braise with enough water. The 4 cups of water in my casserole dish just barely covered the top of the carrots. And I added all of the herbs and spices into the water and juice mixture, stirred it up well, added the carrots in, and put the whole thing in the oven for 2 hours. And so this is more of a braising since it's liquid as opposed to a roasting. I didn't just put the carrots on a flat cookie sheet and bake them because I really wanted flavor infused, and I wanted the carrots to be soft enough to let us get the soup done and within a reasonable amount of time.
Did you do anything within the 2 hours, like, take the top off and what do you call that?
No, the only thing I did was to make sure that the liquid didn't get cooked out before the 2 hours was up. And the 4 cups in this, I can give you measurements on this casserole dish later if anybody wants that.
Sure.
But with 12 good sized carrots and 4 cups of liquid in this covered casserole dish, I didn't have to do anything except keep an eye on it. And I wouldn't even bother if I was to do this again.
Kathy wants to know, was the lid on it?
The lid was on.
Okay. And you said 4 cups, but I've only got the 2 cups of orange carrot juice.
2 cups of orange carrot juice and 2 cups of water.
Okay.
So it's 4 cups of liquid, and that just covered the carrots almost completely. There were little bits of some of the carrots sticking out from the liquid.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that 12 carrots and 4 cups of liquid did this fine. And, you don't have to use orange carrot juice. You could just use 4 cups of water and your own mixture of herbs and spices. But that's, and then I'm going to add liquid as needed once I get the fennel and onion sauteing. When I add the carrots, I'll be adding more liquid. Now, they used vegetable broth. I don't usually make my own vegetable broth. I generally am using enough vegetables, spices, herbs, and water that I don't really need the vegetable broth for flavor. If I was going to use vegetable broth, and I do have some, I would use the Bonafide brand, which is salt-free, no preservatives, and great vegetables as ingredients. And I think has Bonafide.
Huh?
I think Azure carries Bonafide veggie broth.
Oh, I always make my own.
Right.
Kathy's wondering if she can have the recipe. She's wondering if we provide the recipes after the demo. So
I will email you with exactly what I've put in it and the amount of liquid I ended up using once it goes into the soup pot, and you can post it.
And I can do that too, Kathy. I can post it to my list here.
And then the other thing I've got is a very large amount of diced fresh ginger.
Wow.
The recipe called for 6 inches of ginger, but truthfully, I don't really know what that would mean. So this was pretty much, how ginger comes in kind of a hand. This was really almost a full hand.
Wow.
Because I did double, instead of 6 carrots, I've got 8 carrots, I've got fennel, I've got a lot more onion. And we love ginger. And the original recipe said grate it finely. And Richard and I love that little pop of flavor when you get the diced ginger in a spoonful of soup. So I'm going to do the dice. When I use the immersion blender, I really don't think it's going to have much of an impact on this because these are very, very tiny pieces. So that's pretty much it. If anybody wants to see a fennel bulb, this is a half of a fennel bulb. It comes with long stalks on it, kind of like celery, but with a feathery top. Smells kind of dillish or, fennelish. I've already got half of the fennel bulb chopped up, and I'm going to chop this up, just dice it the same way I did my onion, and that will also go into the soup. And I have a big bowl, diced onions, 2 of them here, and a third one that I may or may not add in depending on how things look.
I'm just going to show real quick my potatoes here because they look so amazing.
Those look great.
Wow.
God, you should see these, Richard. Whoa.
I'm going to pull them out so you can. I got paprika on it, but they got nice and browned. And
those look scrumptious.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And those are those twice baked potatoes from Plant Powered Women Warrior book.
Right.
Oh, I have that book. I need to do that.
It's Ann Kryles. Jean was making them, and I said, okay, that's it. I've got to make them too. And Steven said, let's have those twice baked potatoes again.
Hey, do you guys need my email for those recipes?
No, I've got it, Mona.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start heating my pan, and I'm going to finish dicing up the fennel. And then I'm going to start sauteing the diced fennel, diced onion, and ginger, and adding some herbs and spices and a little bit of liquid. And when those are sauteed well enough. I'll be adding the carrots and more liquid and going from there.
Patty says, looks great, Jessie.
Thank you.
This is so nice of you. I just love the way you mix your spices.
Well, I'm sorry it wasn't just the straight recipe from the website.
Oh, I never go straight either.
Well, they use salt. I noticed that a number of the recipes included oil.
Yeah, they're real lax. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised also.
I think it's because it's for beginners.
I was wondering if that was kind of a transition, because it is supposed to be a transition to vegan, not to SOFA's free.
Right.
So I was just, but that meant that they didn't, if they're putting in salt, then they're not worrying too much about spices and herbs, because they're planning on a lot of their flavor coming from the salt.
Right.
So
that's what I figure, I do it and then make my own rendition where you add flavor, the way we like to add flavor. Yeah.
And then the other thing is that a lot of times when carrots are roasted, they're roasted with maple syrup or some other sweetener. Yeah. And, I'm not going to use anything like that. So there were two things. I decided to add the fennel bulb because I know it's going to add a depth of flavor and a little bit of sweetness to the soup. And I decided to do the orange carrot juice mix along with water for braising the carrots, again, to give them a little bit of sweetness. And Richard, I gave Richard a couple of carrots out of the casserole dish just to try, and he said they were really good. If I was ever going to braise carrots again, he'd say, stop at that. Don't bother with the soup. Let's just have the braised carrots. So,
and I was thinking I could just blend up an orange and have 2 cups of blended orange and 2 cups of water, and that would be,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm heating. I use a flat bottomed wok as my soup pot. It's a 4+ quart pan.
Oh, I like that.
So that's what I'm heating up.
Did you just get it online or?
Yep. I bought it maybe 5 years ago from Amazon. I bought 2 of them because after I got the one, it was like, wow, this is really good. The bottom just fits perfectly. I've got one of those glass top stoves. It's not conduction or induction, rather. It's just an electric underneath a glass top. But the base, the bottom, the flat bottom of the wok fits perfectly on the bigger element. So it's just great as far as heating up. And, Janet and I don't use oil, so I'm going to be sauteing the onions and then adding in the fennel. I may add a little bit of water, but generally speaking, if I let the pan get hot enough, it's really, the trick is to get it hotter rather than not so hot, right? If it's really hot, the liquid starts coming out of the fennel and onion pretty much immediately. You just stir it and let it get going, and it works great. So no need for oil. And I'm just going to drop, nope, not yet. So
I like your paddle too. Your paddle. What's the hole for?
Well, honestly, you really need to protect. It's when I'm stirring liquid, it instead of everything in your pan fighting against your paddle, some of the liquid goes through the hole. So it's really good for soups and sauces. And it's really old. It's maybe like balsa wood. It's very lightweight. But stainless steel needs to be protected the same way that cast iron does, or you don't want to use stainless steel utensils if you're scraping or stirring against the bottom of your stainless. So I just use these old, inexpensive I've got a whole drawer of wooden utensils. And then for serving and for other types of things, I'll use, we've got a lot of stainless steel utensils too. But so I am going to start. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear this, but
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
You're kind of freezing. Are you just freezing on mine?
There we go.
There.
She's,
Now I hear it.
freezing on my end too.
She is. Thanks, Mona.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of freezing up, Jesse.
Okay.
Can't hear you now.
Well,
oh, there you are.
Richard picked up the iPad to hold it above the. Oh, okay. That's good, actually. If you can leave it right there, at least people can see the pan. Can you hear this steaming? Can you hear the onions sizzling?
I could a minute ago, but
did I freeze again?
You freeze and then you move and then you freeze and then you move. There, now you're moving.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it'll get through and come out the other side and be okay.
I hope so.
Me too. I want to see this.
So I want to let the onions get going for a little bit, and then I'm going to add in the fennel. And I haven't needed any liquid at all. These are very large onions. They are sweet onions.
Yeah.
And this isn't just the camera angle making it look big. These are huge. So I've got 2 in there already. I don't think I'll need this one. And then I've got the 1 fennel bulb diced up in this bowl. And that's
Is that the whole bulb now?
Pardon?
Is that the whole fennel bulb now?
Yes.
The whole.
Yep. I diced up that other half while we were talking.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to add this in.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi. I'm going to mute. I'm actually in the restroom at work, so sorry.
Oh, that's great. That's dedication, Tracy. So Jesse's making cream carrot soup.
Okay. I'm going to measure things so that we can, so that we can tell people what I've done.
Yeah.
So what I've got here is 1, 2 tablespoons of ground coriander. And I'm going to add that in.
Can't find where I wrote that.
And I'm also going to add in 2 tablespoons of nigella.
What's nigella?
This is the black cumin. It's got a kind of a sweet and oniony and lemony flavor.
Yeah, I have it.
Tiny little black seeds.
Yeah.
And I'm doing tablespoons of that.
With those seeds, you don't need to grind them, right?
You don't need to, no. Now, they are going to retain their shape, but they will soften as they're cooked. And I like that little pop of flavor. Probably in the end, it's like a little bit oniony and a little bit lemony.
So do you not use stainless steel instruments because, will they scratch stainless steel?
Right. Yeah. When I'm cleaning my stainless steel pots, most of the time I just use hot water and soap. Sometimes if there's any kind of, if I did burn something or anything stuck, or even just sometimes they'll get a little bit discolored, I use just white vinegar. White vinegar and hot water, let it sit for just a little bit. It's great. And you get,
So you're thinking bell peppers, huh, Jess?
Well, bell peppers is something I like, but any root vegetable would work. I mean, for that matter, you could do a really delicious fennel and potato soup. just a Yukon Gold or a russet potato with the fennel bulb and onion. You could also do potatoes and corn because that's going to be really creamy and nice once you use that immersion blender. And you're right, parsnips, rutabaga, olive turnips, all of those things. You know, if anybody likes them like I do, this would be great.
But the reason why I'm wondering about bell peppers is because they're not a root.
No, they're not. But it would, I mean, I've actually done a kind of a red bell pepper version of this. I probably wouldn't make as big a pot. It would be a smaller pot because it's not the kind of thing I don't think that would taste great as the days go on, whereas this will.
Yeah.
I would just red bell peppers in. There are some things where a red bell pepper would be a good counterbalance. If I was going to do sweet potatoes, I'd put bell pepper in. Otherwise, the potatoes are too sweet to me. Sweet potatoes, like Hannah's or, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, Richard, can you just, if you can hold
there.
Okay.
There.
So now I'm just gonna let this stuff saute for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll add the carrots.
Okay. So I'm heating up my pan.
Okay.
And we can start the chickpea gravy. I just thought that this is also on PCRM and it looks so darn good. I thought that would be so good on those rice baked potatoes. So, you know, potatoes and gravy. What's not to love about that?
Right.
So I don't know if you can go to this app and print the recipes. Do you?
I didn't download the app because then I found out that you had to create an account, and I didn't really want to do that. Yeah, on the app, when you get the app for your iPad, it does. But the website has all of these recipes. I just went to the RM website.
That's good to know.
And I did actually print out the creamy carrot soup recipe. And then when I read it, decided that I was going to be making some changes.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's great, though. You've got the basic ingredients, and now you can just edit it and put your stuff in, and we can send it out. So I got some onion here. I got a cup of onions. My pan's nice and at a good temperature. And I'm just going to add the spices. I'm supposed to do it except the garam masala, but I already had added it in, so it's going to go in. I just love these Indian spices, so you just can't go wrong. And so the spices are turmeric, garam masala, I got to go to my ingredients page. Cayenne, coriander, and cinnamon. And actually, I think that is it. And I'm just going to cook that up. And I'm going to stir it. And I also use a wooden spoon. But I also have this spatula. Is it okay to use that on that stainless steel wok? It's silicone.
Sure. Yep, that would be fine.
I wonder if it would work, though, as far as the wood would be tougher. You know, this gives.
Right. Yeah, if I'm doing a big pot of something, a stock pot or a big 4-quart pot, I generally want something that's stiff.
Yeah. And I've got a round wooden and a flat-ended wooden utensil, so I could do that.
So you've got non-stick pans, huh?
Yeah, this is a ceramic. Yeah. Which works just fine, but I've wondered about stainless steel. we've started having little ants show up. So it's
Oh,
definitely
God.
it's a sign of spring.
With us, sometimes it's a sign of too much rain, and they start
Ah,
to look for drier places.
ah. There's always too much, well, not always, but there's often too much rain here. Oh, this smells so good, Jesse.
Yeah.
You know, it called for 2 teaspoons of turmeric, but I only put in one because turmeric can overpower a dish.
Yeah, and sometimes turmeric's a little bitter.
Yes. And but when I use the raw turmeric, you know, that I like ginger, I freeze it in the freezer. That's a lot gentler than the spice. The spice just can be pretty darn bitter.
Oh, right. If you get the root and just do it that way, it's the same as ginger. It's very different from the dried powder.
Yeah. But since they used the powder, I went ahead and used it, but I I hesitated because I like using the root, of course. I always like the actual herb more than the powdered form if I can do it. So next, if I did it again, I'd probably use that.
So
Oh,
I've just added in a half a tablespoon of tandoori spice. And the reason I
oh,
did that is that one of the things that they did mention in their recipe was that if you wanted a little spice, you could add, red flake chili powder or peppers.
mm,
Um, and the tandoori spice mix that I've got does actually have some cayenne. It's paprika, coriander, cumin, cayenne, cinnamon, black pepper, fenugreek, cardamom, ginger, garlic, and turmeric.
ooh,
So this
sounds
seemed
good.
like a pretty well-rounded mix. So
Yeah,
I put in a half a tablespoon, and we'll see how that works. And at this point, I'm going to add a little more water. I'm going to put the lid on the pan, and I'm going to set my timer for 3 minutes. And I think at that point, I'm going to be ready to add in the carrots and additional water.
great. And I've got garlic added to mine. I almost forgot it.
Fresh garlic?
Yes, it said
Great.
2 cloves, but I put in, they were little cloves, so I put in a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Boy, that just looks amazing. You can see how this is going to make a wonderful gravy.
Yep, definitely. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I only had time for a carrot and a artichoke for lunch.
Well, we did a broccoli slaw for breakfast.
Mm,
It sauteed. So it was a broccoli slaw, onion, corn, red bell pepper, kale, mushrooms, and ginger and herbs and spices. And then we had that over some oat groats, and that was our breakfast. And I
mm,
think we ate early this morning. It was around 10 or 10:30, I think.
mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's early for
normally
you.
we eat 2 meals a day, and
Yeah.
normally our quote unquote breakfast is at noon or 1, and then
Uh-huh.
we have a second meal at 6 or 7. So
I'm going to add in tomato sauce. It's supposed to be tomato puree, which I didn't have. So I thought, well, I'll just use tomato sauce.
yeah, I mean, really, if you get the flavor, it really almost doesn't matter about the form, right?
Yeah. And then I'm supposed to stir it for 5 minutes. That's a long time to be stirring something.
Yeah, it is.
Let me get my spoon. Here's my old wooden spoon.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
I'll just pour here. So I'm Janet Plant Power Peddler, and today we have, who do we have, Jesse?
Jesse Bunker Maxwell. Hi, everybody. Good, it moved back again. Maybe we'll get to see this. Shoot.
No, well, I'm going to spotlight you. Wait a second.
Okay.
There you go. And it's not a sunny day, so I don't have all the glare that I can sometimes have where it makes it hard to see.
Right. Well, you know, we don't, generally speaking, your camera does a really great job, and you've done a great job positioning it. I mean, I know there is glare out the window, but it really doesn't seem to interfere with what we're seeing you do.
Oh, good. Because to me, it looks like it does.
So I am now adding the carrots and all those herbs and the little bit of liquid that was left from the roasting pan.
That's great, the way they all fit in there.
Well, this is a huge, this really is a huge pot.
I'm lusting over, you know, what it would be like to just cook greens in there the way I like to do the onion, garlic, mushroom, cabbage, and greens. It would fit a lot of greens.
And this domed lid is great because you can have the pot filled and then add that huge bag of kale on top. Put the dome, you know, the domed lid on, and it puts the kale down, and then you can stir it in.
Geez, that just sounds great. I might have to get me one. See if Amazon still got it.
Yeah, I don't know. They may. I'll have to check and see. Okay, I am now going to add water.
Brenda's here. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, everyone. We just got out of a coaching session.
Oh, what'd you cook?
No, coaching.
Oh, coaching.
Yeah.
Gina, is that
Gina?
Yeah.
Gina. Hey.
Hey, Gina.
We couldn't come on, Jennifer and I couldn't come on time because we were in you know, one of those open coaching discussion things.
Yes.
Well, good.
Yes.
That's great.
Happy to be here.
Right now, that's your priority. Get those.
Yeah.
Keep up with all that.
Hi, guys. I was busy coughing when you said hello earlier.
Is this Brenda?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Hi, Brenda.
Poor kid.
Okay, I'm going to put the lid back on. I added, let's see, what is this? Is this a liter of water? I believe it's 40 ounces. Does anybody know if a liter is 40 ounces?
Why?
Close
I
to
think
it.
a liter's close to a quart, isn't it?
It's kind of a quart, but I think
how many ounces is a liter?
33 point something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
33.8.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is 40 ounces of water. I just added 40 ounces of water roughly to this, to the pot. And I'm now going to bring this back up to a simmer. And then I'm going to check and see if the amount of liquid seems right. And I'm going to start in with the immersion blender.
All right.
So let me clear a few things away here.
And all I've got left to do is to add my chickpeas. And water.
Lately, I've been using canned chickpeas. I used to just go with the dried chickpeas that I would cook from scratch, and I really do prefer them, but canned is okay too.
Yeah,
depending on what you're doing.
To me, the canned beans have an aftertaste to them, but I cook up the chickpeas and then I put them in the super cubes and freeze them. Yeah. And then stick them in a bag. So I'm going to go ahead and add my chickpeas. And
how much
the water.
How much does your recipe, what is the quantity of chickpeas?
A can. So I put in a cup and a half.
Okay, so can. Got it. Okay.
Have you ever measured a can of chickpeas?
No, I know it's 15 ounces, and
Yeah.
I believe once I drained it and measured it into, a measuring cup like this.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit more than a cup and a half, but chickpeas are round and they don't fit together well.
Right.
So I think I've always called it a cup and a half, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So because I was late, what are you guys making?
Janet first.
I'm making chickpea gravy from the chickpeas with gravy. It's from the 21-day kickstart that I'm doing with everybody.
Yum.
And Janet's going to put the chickpeas and gravy over twice baked potatoes that
Oh,
she
yeah,
got
let me
from the
let me
women's
show Gina.
Warrior Women's Cookbook.
Can you share the twice baked potato recipe as well?
That's in the Plant Power Warrior Women Cookbook. Do you
We
have that?
can't hear you.
Huh?
I couldn't hear Janet. Could you guys hear Janet?
No,
No.
Okay.
What happened? Did I lose my connection?
You're
you're
back.
back. You're
Oh,
back.
okay.
No, you were just too far away from the computer or something.
Yeah, I'm standing right next to it. But there they are, Gina. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they look so good.
Yeah. So I'm going to put the gravy and chickpeas over it for dinner.
I think
Yum.
what Janet was saying was that if we take a recipe out of someone else's book, we can't really, in all fairness, share that recipe unless we've modified it greatly. So I don't think we can write
I
up
think
that
we can. I think we can share it just amongst each other. I just
Yes.
wouldn't
Yeah.
want to post it publicly. So
Yes.
if you don't have the book, Kathy, I'll just send it to your email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And I did. They called for Japanese sweet potato, and I didn't have one, so I just used a regular Costco orange sweet potato.
I have it on hold at the library. The
Oh,
book.
okay. How many are in front of you?
A bunch,
Yeah.
which is a good sign.
Yeah. It's a great
Janet's
book.
made a lot of recipes out of it. It seems to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, there's, just even looking at this one today, I thought, wow, there's a lot of recipes back here I still want to make. So Jean says, I love those rebaked potatoes. It's all your fault, Jean. When I was telling Steven that Jean was doing doing the twice baked potato, he says, we need to have some more of those. I said, well, I'm going to make Jennifer's pizza. He goes, no, let's have the potatoes first. So that's what I did.
Well, even as long as we're going to live because of the way we eat, I don't think it would be long enough if I cooked a recipe every day. I still would not get through all of the cookbooks that I have in my house.
That is so true.
To say nothing of what's available online for free, right?
There's so much. So I'm just mashing my chickpeas. Oh, and then I'm supposed to cover it. All right. I got to pay attention to what I'm doing here. Ah, which one do you have, Jessie?
I have some sort of, who knows what brand that I got off Amazon. I think it's Koios or something like that, Koios. And it seems to work well.
That's all that counts.
So
Jean's showing her potatoes. They look wonderful, Jean.
I'm going to turn the heat off and I'm going to.
Thanks, Jessie, but you're back.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm back. Well, I might have frozen because at first I didn't mute, and Zoom is trying to block out the sound of the blender. So that might have been why.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve some of this up for Richard and let him be the guinea pig.
All right.
Jennifer wanted me to let you guys know she's on her way.
Oh, okay.
So Richard, the green bowl, the small, the low flat one, the yellow one. Okay.
Jess, I have a question for you. Is that soup more like a bisque? Is it thick like a bisque?
Can you show it to us?
Yes, yes. Let me stir this.
Ooh.
So I am not, this is not going to be creamy. There are actually some pieces of onion, a carrot or two. All of the black spots, the black specks are the nigella seed.
I like it chunky though.
Yeah, we're it, you know, it's pretty. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty soupy, but it's
thick.
So I would prefer not to add more water to this. I kind of like this. I like this consistency.
Yeah.
I would too. I don't like a super thin soup.
That looks amazing.
Well, especially for this. If it's something where I really want the broth and then maybe some beans or rice or vegetables, that would be different. You know, but for this one, I don't want it so thick that there's no liquid. And plus, I'm going to be putting this in the refrigerator and it'll take us 3 days to finish it. So I know that some of the liquid is going to kind of just morph out of it somehow. That's always what happens, right? When you put something liquidy in the refrigerator.
Yes.
So I'm going to do just a little bit in a bowl so it'll cool here. So, okay. So I guess we'll put the iPad back in its old position. Let me get it. And I apologize for not being able to get a good shot of what I'm cooking, but next time I'll have it down.
Yeah, we're practicing.
So so Richard's got a spoon and a hot
bowl.
bowl.
Richard. We want to see you take your bite, Richard.
Well, you have to let it cool or he's going to be like Dylan, the mouth of steel, right?
Asbestos mouth.
Really? Because I can see the steam just.
Yeah. Hey, Jennifer.
Really hot. You're going to do it, huh? How hot is it? Yeah, it is pretty hot.
Taste?
Good.
Is it a pop in your mouth or?
Maybe too hot.
Heat hot.
Heat hot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good.
What do you think, Jesse?
That's good. And get the ginger.
Yeah, that is good.
It's really good.
I'm really glad I put the fennel in because it's, yeah.
Jennifer wants to know what you made, Jesse.
Oh, it's a carrot soup with braised carrots that were braised in water and orange carrot juice with some herbs for 2 hours. And then I sauteed fennel bulb and onion and ginger, fresh ginger, and added the braised carrots and added water, brought everything up to a simmer, and then finished off with the immersion blender. Yeah, me too. That's good. It's really good.
Good. Good. So Jennifer, I made the twice baked potato to put my chickpea and gravy on. Here's one of the potatoes. And
that
then
looks
my
so good.
my chickpea gravy here.
Oh God, that looks great.
Go ahead and put some on here. And I'll just have a little, and then I'll go for my walk and finish it off. Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Take a
That's
picture.
beautiful.
Oh, man. So there's, all the Indian spices here, coriander, garam masala, cinnamon. This is, oh.
Is that from the Broccoli Mom's book?
No,
Jan?
this is from 21 Day Kickstart.
Oh, that's right. You told us that. That's
and
right.
The twice baked potatoes are from the Warrior Woman. Ooh, it's hot. I mean, it's spicy.
Oh.
Oh.
Mm. Oh, man.
It's so funny cooking the meal, watching someone cook the meal. It's just not done until they take a bite. It's like it feels like there's just something missing,
That's so true,
Yes.
Gina. So true.
We're going to share the recipes, Jennifer.
Yeah, Janet, I know you wrote down some of the measurements, but I'll go ahead and write it all down for you and send it to you.
That sounds
so
great.
You don't have to write up the recipe.
And I'll do the same. Just for the group here. So we got